even know who did it.
He is accused of pulling a gun on someone.
Rapping about the murder of Reginald Agnew Jr.
They wouldn't listen to the whole thing.
What's good, Rizzle fam? We got another story coming out of Jacksonville for y'all. Just like his collaborator and friend, Pooh Shiesty, Spotemgottem might have just done a little bit of self-snitching on a recent track and looks like the feds are after him. After releasing the track, it comes to light that Spotemgottem might be implicated in a death that happened in Dallas. What lyrics might be used to put bro away though? What's the motive? We can't say for sure whether this is about to end up like it did for Shiesty, but let's go ahead and get into it. In case you have been living under a rock and you don't know who Spotemgottem is, he's a rapper from Jacksonville, Florida. Back in 2020, the 19-year-old rapper put out a single, Beatbox, which managed to hit number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100. The track blew up on TikTok, and after that, it got remixed by the likes of Polo G, NLE Choppa, and DaBaby. From here, it's safe to say that dude was blowing up and that we could expect huge things from the young rapper. Life hasn't always been filled with money and fame for Spotemgottem though. He has a couple of charges on his record already, starting with Grand Theft Auto case he caught back in 2017, and on top of that, they threw carrying a concealed weapon at him too. This was before the newest charge, and before the release of Beatbox, so it's good to see that he was able to kind of bounce back and come back stronger than ever. Now, the current drama is a little complicated. Originally, Spotemgottem was wanted for questioning as a suspect in the case of Reginald Agnew Jr. Agnew was attending a party at Tropics Club, and at about 2 a.m., he was gunned down. At this time, there's really not much about him known to the media. He was a self-employed delivery driver who was into drag racing as a hobby. It's unlikely that he was involved in any kind of gang activity, which only makes the shooting more mysterious. At first, investigators heard the lyrics to Again, and assumed that they might have found their man in Spotemgottem. They claimed that he had incriminated himself while spitting a 16 on the track. For bars that were supposed to nail Spotemgottem down as a suspect, it's kind of a reach. Sure, he's rapping about guns and dead ops, but he doesn't get specific or anything like that. Spotemgottem doesn't say any names. The most specific he gets is poking at the local police department by saying,
They don't even know who did it.
The investigators in the case took the lyrics to be about Reginald and ran with it from there. Even though the lyrics could be talking about anyone or no one at all in the song. It makes sense that they'd be suspicious, but you can't just pin stuff like that on people with pretty much no proof. While he was on the run, Spotemgottem says that the police reached out to his lawyers. He also said his lawyer was getting calls from reporters in other countries about the story, which kind of freaked him out since he really had no clue what was going on at the time. After a little bit, he found out that the police department had actually issued a warrant for his arrest in connection with Reginald's death. After he got picked up and questioned, after being on the run from the fuzz for a little bit, he got released on a bond that was reportedly $18,500. In an interview with Sean Cotton, Spotemgottem points out that he doesn't even know the dude who passed away and claims that he was falsely accused. While he didn't get put away on the charge or anything like that, he was all over the news for like 6 days after the story broke. The Dallas Police Department did release a statement on why they went after Spotemgottem with the quickness, saying, "This is very bold." They then went on to say that it was pretty much like saying, "Hey, we did this and the police don't even know who did it and we're gonna get away with murdering this young man." Sure, we'll give them that. It would be like that, if not for the fact that Spotemgottem literally wasn't even in Texas at the time of the shooting. He also doesn't even know the dude in the first place. Now, Spotemgottem is suing the Dallas Police Department. He claims that they've done irreparable damage to his reputation after doing interviews for the media, pushing their story so hard, and generally jumping to conclusions. We gotta admit here, he's not wrong. For the police department to just throw out accusations like that with pretty much no actual proof to go off of that's very irresponsible. This man's whole career, his whole life was on the line because they wanted to jump to the first person they thought was acting sus. Spotemgottem said after everything started blowing up, he hopped on a 3-way call with his lawyer and his mama, and both of them told him he was going to have to clear this up ASAP. The worst part is, the dude could have been put away for life if he was wrongly convicted. And they were going off some he said, she said stuff. How are you about to play with somebody's whole life like that? To make everything even weirder, in the interview, Spotemgottem mentioned that he hasn't even been to Texas since at least 2019. How's he about to murder somebody in a state that he hasn't even set foot in since that long ago? He probably had an alibi and everything too, so he could prove he wasn't even in Texas at the time. Overall, this one just sounds like the Dallas Police Department wanted to get their guy way too bad. There's a difference between self-incriminating on a track and just rapping reckless about either stuff you know or from the perspective of a character. The whole thing is a mess, and it seems like the PD is about to learn their lesson about jumping to conclusions with this lawsuit that's in the works. From what it sounds like, Spotemgottem actually has a really solid case here because the police department really did have nothing. Spotemgottem's lawyer came out and basically wrecked the Dallas PD by talking about how ridiculous the whole situation is. They saw his live stream of the new track he was working on, jumped on it with absolutely no evidence, and they still haven't even retracted their statements about Spotemgottem being involved, even though they did just straight up clear his name. This is why the lawsuit is happening. There's also the fact that Spotemgottem wasn't capping or anything like that when he goes into talking about just how big the story got. Most sites that even published some rap news were all over the story, immediately talking about how bro was getting put away. The story went viral all over the world too, like in India and the Netherlands. There are probably still people in countries everywhere across the globe who only read that one headline, and now they think that Spotemgottem is some cold-blooded criminal because it's not like people getting cleared for charges makes news. And when it does, it's nowhere near as big as the news of the charge. Sure, there have been cases where rappers snitch on themselves in their bars. The most recent case was Pooh Shiesty, but that's not the only time that has happened. Let's not forget about Tay-K, not only admitting to shooting in his lyrics, but then the fact that he released The Race while he had his warrant out. The song was literally all about how he was running from the cops to beat his case. That being said, maybe it's important we talk about the other side of the coin here. How many rappers have been falsely accused of something they didn't do because of some hard bars they put out? How many of these rappers actually got put away on charges and had to spend their whole lives in lockup? Can't really list any because if there are rappers in this situation, no one really knows, except for the people who were at the scene and the rappers themselves. All we can say is that if there's a close call like this that we can all see and watch a YouTube video on, it's more likely that it's happened before. Thank God that Spotemgottem got off for the charge and that the Dallas Police Department is gonna have to pay for talking mess like that. But man, if it wouldn't have worked out the way it did, this case would probably go down in infamy for being so unfair. We're not going to sit here and pretend that there aren't times that rappers have talked about ops they've smoked in their bars, but this isn't one of those times. For an example of that, you just have to look at Who I Smoked by Young Gene Ace. That track didn't even spark an investigation or anything, even though it's pretty much a confession. So, what do y'all think? Is this a problem that deserves more attention? Should the police department have been less quick to jump the gun on this one? Let us know what you think down below in the comments. And don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Last but not least, do not forget to ring that bell down below to get updates from Rizzle and the newest videos sent straight into your subscription feed. As always, have a great rest of your day. And don't forget to keep it Rizzle.